Meeting of the Amherst Township Trustees called to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Abraham?
Here.
Lynch?
Here.
Urick?
Yes.
Fish is also present. I also have start with the August 27th Amherst Township meeting minutes. Meeting was called to order at 7:03 p.m. by Lynch with a pledge to the flag. Roll call, Abraham, Lynch, Urick, and Kish were present. Additional attendees were G. Lynch, R. Nida, D. Moore, A. Moore, and J. Riddell. 8-6-24, motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick, to approve the August 13th, 2024 regular meeting minutes as presented. All ayes. 8-7-24, motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Move to approve the financial reports and payment of items on the payment listing as presented and with reservations. All ayes. 8-8-24, motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick. Move to approve that the July 2024 credit card account transaction detail has been reviewed for policy and is accepted as presented, subject to investigation. All ayes. Under audience concerns, R. Nida, who lives on Middle Ridge, came forward regarding parking issues. Vehicles are parking on both sides of the street, causing issues with emergency vehicles not being able to get through. This caused a sign for parking to not be allowed on the south side of the street, but people are still parking there. Traffic enforcement for the township is the Lorain County Sheriff's Department, and they would have to enforce any issues, and Trustee Lynch suggested calling the sheriff immediately. D. Moore, who lives on Middle Ridge Road, his property abuts the Batten House ditch, brought pictures of what he has cleaned up on his property and pictures of the drain that runs into the creek to show the debris, algae, and a damaged tree from a beaver. He also noted there are 40 to 50 trees laying across the ditch. Beyond the beaver dam, it is all dry and jammed up. If we get a bad storm, it will begin to move through the wooded area and will transition into the residents' property, creating a pond. He did reach out to Don Romanchik, and his response was it was a civil matter. He's inquiring what he can do. Trustee Lynch noted again that a grant has been approved by the Lorain County Stormwater District. Several property owners have not yet signed easement agreements to allow restoration equipment on their property. Without those agreements, they would only be able to get on the properties that they have the agreements for. Trustee Lynch welcomed Commissioner Riddell, who was in attendance at the meeting, to give an update on county updates that could impact Amherst Township and to hear concerns, comments, and collaborative opportunities Amherst Township may have. A discussion ensued regarding Amherst Township goals, concerns, comments, and collaborative opportunities. See separate attachment. Under correspondence, Trustee Lynch noted we did receive a final determination letter from the Ohio Department of Taxation exempting parcel 05-000-064-000-054 from property tax beginning in 2021, and follow-up from the auditor's office that remittance of the property taxes, approximately $400 per year, on the parcel that were previously paid will be processed. Trustee Lynch also noted that we will keep the item regarding the fraud reporting and training from the Ohio Auditor of State, Keith Faber, for all township employees open until we have 100% completion. Fiscal Officer Kish will stay on top of sending out periodic reminders to complete this training. The training needs to be completed by 9/28/24. The Fiscal Officer noted that we are down to 4 individuals that need to complete the training. Trustee Lynch also reported that we did receive stormwater reductions in the amounts of $456 to $364.80 on parcel 05-000-056-00017. I forgot some dashes there. I will correct that. And from $592.80 to $410.40 on parcel 05-000-065-0000040. Lastly, Trustee Lynch reported the next Sandstone Joint Ambulance District meeting will be held on 11/7/24 at 11 a.m. at the Amherst Fire Station. Under reports, they were suspended until the next meeting due to the meeting running long. 8-9-24, motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham, amend the text of the Amherst Township zoning resolution to protect the public health, safety, and general welfare, provide clarifications to eliminate unnecessary public hearing delays, to ensure compliance with the Ohio Revised Code, and to correct various spelling, grammar, and section reference errors. All ayes. The next regularly scheduled meeting will be Tuesday, September 10th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Amherst Township Hall. 8-10-24, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham, to adjourn at 9:38 p.m. All ayes.
Are there any changes or corrections to the August 27th meeting minutes?
I have none.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
I second
Lynch,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
Urick.
Yes.
Then you have your financial reports in front of you. Payment listing is pretty standard for the month. Our year-to-date revenue is $1,502,000, $16.29. And our expenditures for the year are $1,045,037.26. And we also have, we did receive the reimbursement or the remittance for, bring up the minutes here again, for the property taxes exempting the parcel 05009 064000054 that we've been talking about. We did get it for 3 years, and the amount we received was $1,197.16.
Good.
So that will be going in, and also I have a motor home that yet needs to go in, so that's going to be approximately another 50. It's under 50, but it's 49,000 something. So that has yet to go in.
Okay. Any questions on any of the finance reports or the payment listing? David?
The only question I have is under the ARPA. Well, I have 2 questions. Under ARPA,
Yes.
are we going to spend that down?
Yes, I have to just put it that it's towards payroll.
All right. And then the second, what do we have in custodial?
I don't even know what that is. That's an account that Howard set up, and that's been there since he was here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The $34 and some odd cents.
No, I just hope we're getting interest on it.
Yeah.
All right.
We can figure out his bookkeeping. Yeah, I got no clue.
Okay, well, if there's no other questions, I'm going to make a motion to approve the financial reports and the payment listing, the items on, or I'm sorry, of the payment of the items on the payment listing as specified in the documents provided by the fiscal officer.
Second.
Okay. Neal? Lynch?
Yes.
Euring?
Yes.
Abraham?
The number on that, Chris?
That is 902. 24.
Is there anything else?
That's all I've got.
All right. I'd like to welcome everyone in attendance, and I see the residents already left, so there's no one here to bring an issue forward. And Kevin, you'll follow up with them and get them to fill out a complaint form or... All right, correspondence, Chris?
I have none.
David?
I have nothing to bring forward at this
Hey,
time.
Danny? All right, everything we've got is on the agenda, so we'll be addressing it later. And Chris did send out a correspondence on the fraud reporting training, and there's just one more to get done. And did you get the documentation for the other?
Yes.
Okay, so we just have one to get completed, and that has to be done by September 28th. Okay, so we'll move on then to reports. Nothing new to report on ambulance, just remember that the next meeting on November 7th, the time was changed to 11 o'clock a.m. to accommodate the Amherst Fire Department chief. Move on to Sheriff's report, Deputy Fuller.
Nothing to report.
All right, that makes it easy, no crime. I did just want to mention to you, at our last meeting, there was a resident
Is that the one with the parking?
on parking on
Yeah,
Mill
I was
Ridge.
trying, I didn't catch the address before. What was
Okay.
the address?
Well, I looked his up, he didn't have an address, but I've driven down there multiple times, and there are no parking signs on both sides of the streets. He indicated the signs say one, but it says no parking on either side. I know the party that he was trying to point out, who does some auto repair down there, you know, his own premise, and he had at one time, he had some junk vehicles moved out of the way, so I didn't see where he had anything on the road, but I can tell you multiple residents are parking along the road there with the sign, but we had told the gentleman with the complaint is, you call the sheriff
Correct.
if there's any complaint about parking and it's
Right.
posted.
Yeah.
And,
What's the address?
well, it's just if you drive down Old Middle Ridge, you know where Eddystone cuts in.
Mm-hmm.
So head south on, or north on Eddystone, turn left, which is heading west on Old Middle Ridge, and you can't miss it. But it's just like I let them know, if you call the sheriff, it's not just going to be the party that you may be concerned with, it's anybody that parks there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that I've driven down there now since our last meeting and multiple times and not seen vehicles parked there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think residents are just, using it for convenience, parking their cars out so they don't have to jockey them around if they've got multiple vehicles in their driveway. But it is posted.
Okay. I will,
Okay.
I'll take a stroll.
And being a dead-end street, we normally don't get a whole lot of complaints there, and Kevin's not shoveling snow yet, so that's when he has the problem with people parking.
Right, yeah. I think I did get a complaint about parking last year, though, on the same street. I haven't got one this year yet, that brought to my attention.
There was an issue when we had a fire down there,
Mhm.
and the fire trucks had some difficulty because some vehicles were parked right where the fire was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they have to damage the vehicles to get, there's no parking signs for a reason. If the fire trucks have to get down there, and they have to put their hoses,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yep, it is, so, well, it's, I know we've got it with our road soup. He has the option of leaving a friendly reminder tag on their note that, hey, keep your cars off or we will be contacting the sheriff.
Yep, I'll take a stroll down there and see, and
Okay.
maybe make some friendly reminders,
Right,
and then if it continues,
yeah. Yeah, and then maybe people understand it's for their own protection.
right.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Other questions? Okay, we'll move on. Zoning, Sam?
Oh, yeah. You all have the permit log in front of you. Year-to-date, we have 89 permits, 18 new construction, most of which is sandstone, which is moving right along. I think we're all good on complaints that I know of. That's about it, really. Nothing on the books for site plan reviews coming up.
Well, you've got, at the next zoning commission meeting, they will have, if they get the information back from county planning, they will have the public hearing on the zoning amendment, which is all the text amendments that the trustees discussed at the last meeting. So that'll be occurring, and I don't recall, was there a site plan review coming in, or is that one the one that got canceled?
That's the one that was canceled,
Well, that's good.
which
because-
works out good, yes.
Yeah, that helps, so now they won't have a heavy load that night. Good deal. Are there any other questions for Sam?
No.
Okay, we do have, and unfortunately, I realize now, I sent Linda the wrong version of the agenda, so you don't have it on here, but we do have, which I wanted to cover under zoning, there's been a lot of work that between Linda and Sam back and forth, and I know you guys have seen the emails, or hopefully you've looked at them, and getting a new agreement with our non-residential building official, Tom Horseman. Our current agreement with, when Tom came on, was just he basically following on what Ken Klingshirn used to do. And that agreement really is outdated. There's several things on there. It talks about this $20 permit fee being paid directly to the fiscal officer, which obviously can't occur. We did verify that at least for the last two fiscal officers, and that's as far back as we went, that payment's never been made or deducted out of there. There was also the question on the insurance liability when this was run through the prosecutor's office and their recommendation, and Linda's also checked with our risk manager as far as their recommendations on that based on the comments from the prosecutor's office. And then it was just getting the reporting, since Sam's really the point person in dealing with Tom Horseman, letting him know when there is some modification or new commercial business coming into the township, and getting the information that Tom needs to prepare for the review of the plans and the actual inspections. So we wanted to make sure that the agreement also is up to date with what the current process is. And this should make it easier as we have changeover in personnel as far as having this documented. So we believe this is the final one based on the discussions that have been back and forth between the prosecutor's office, Tom Horseman, and our Ohio Township Association of Risk Management Authority. But I did want to leave some wiggle room in there because if you look at the agreement that you have in your possession is in the portion on the liability. Let's get back to that section. I've looked at this thing too many times. In item 2, it just says the building official shall carry the appropriate insurance coverage as recommended by OTARMA, which with limits no less than $7 million per incident, and the building official shall provide proof of such coverage at least yearly, promptly after a request from the trustees. Originally, the document Tom had sent back was a $2 million coverage, but our risk manager is recommending $7 million, which is what the township has now. Tom doesn't have what that additional cost would be for him, so we're hoping that stays the same, but the resolution is trying to put some flexibility in there so that we're not holding this up, waiting for another meeting. It says that the Amherst Township Administrator, Linda Ashley, shall include an insurance liability or hold harmless clause in Section 2 of the attached Amherst Township Building Official Agreement as recommended by an Ohio Township Association Risk Management Authority representative, because it's possible in discussions back and forth between our risk manager and Tom Horseman, that number could change. So I hope the trustees will approve this, because this has taken a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of time. I don't know how long, Linda, you've been working on this.
A long time.
But, you know, and every time you go to one of these different groups, whether it's the prosecutor's office, the building official, or risk manager, everybody has another change they want to make. And that just sends the whole cycle back again. So we just wanted to get this down to be, at least have something in place here, yet give Linda the flexibility if that number has to change there. I don't know if you guys have any other questions. And there is, Linda also has this, it's written that $20, which was always in Ken Klingshorn's agreement, would actually go to the general fund. And we're not talking a lot of money there, but and Tom's indicated he's going to show that as a separate line item on his permits. So similar to this, how he shows the actual inspection costs and then the 3% that goes to the state. While you're reading through that, I'm just going to make the motion to approve the revised building official agreement for enforcement of the Ohio State building codes, except 1, 2, and 3 family residential as presented.
I'll second that.
Is there any other discussion on this?
I have a question about the 15 days. Where is that? That's not in here.
It's not in here. This is
Okay.
just something they sent an email for today. They sent it actually a couple days. I didn't write it in the contract.
Okay,
So
that's
I
good,
will,
because,
I'll talk to them because we can't guarantee 15 days.
right, especially since I get wrong billing invoices and they have to be corrected, and
What if we were Pittsfield Township? I mean, 2 trustees resigned.
Oh, yeah.
So they
I
can't,
didn't even know that.
yeah, they can't bill anything.
Yeah.
We didn't pay anything.
I'll
But
talk to
it's
Kelly
timing
tomorrow.
on- We both know the bookkeeping issues, but we've been billed for things that we've already paid, so we've had to get new invoices. So does that mean it's a new 15 days and
As long as I will just tell her that she'll be paid either on the
Within the month, I
the
mean-
second Tuesday or the fourth Tuesday at
And
the
then,
meeting.
like,
And they're
we've
going to have
gotten-
to get it in at least 3 business days before the meeting.
And that's why we get payments for him so early compared to when we get the invoice. That's why I just asked for a copy of the check for when she does send the invoice, because I've forgotten when that and what it went in for.
Yeah.
So it just helps to speed that up, getting
I don't
paid.
know necessarily that that needs to be written into the contract.
I
I
don't.
think that might be something that can just be discussed and agreed upon. It's not like they've never been paid.
Yeah, and she gets her 1099 right away, so.
I do have a question when you guys are done talking.
Go ahead.
Well, this is naming Tom as the building department administrator. I mean, I understand he coordinates inspections and all that, but if that's the case, then we're handling all the files and everything. We're doing administrating here as the building department. Shouldn't it be worded differently?
Yeah, this was changed at Tom's request because of the way the Ohio Building Code, using their definition of administrator and official. So that's why this was changed. So if you go to item 1, it says the building official shall serve as the building official on behalf of the trustees with a direct report to the zoning inspector. Building official to administrate the building department per 104.2.1 of the Ohio Building Code. So, I mean, that's right in the code there, Sam, and that's why we put the section in there to reference that. And that was one of the points Tom wanted clarified, and, it just required some wording. I know I think he might still be concerned with this reporting to the zoning inspector, but who's he report to?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
he
just
can say
trying to
the
give...
trustees, but his direct involvement is with you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give us a little bit of oversight, that's all. That's what I'm concerned with, but...
Well, he's reporting to you, so you still have it, but the way the building code's written, they talk about the building official being the administrator. Okay.
Yeah, I understand that, but I think he's a different situation. That's if you have an employee who's your building inspector. Then he's the administrator, but we subcontract to him. So I just don't, like, is he gonna come in here and start keeping all the files then? We're still
No.
doing some of
No,
the
no,
administration.
He's not keeping the files here, but he's going to take care of the files he's going to realize he gets subcontractors. He doesn't do the electrical inspection
Right.
himself, so he has to subcontract that out. He's going to administer all that.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, I didn't
Look that
see
up,
this.
Sam.
This, to me, was an easy give. It wasn't something to get hung up on, but that was one that, Tom just felt pretty strong on it because it's written right in the code.
I still think with the direct report that we can still direct him.
Yeah. Yeah, he reports right to Sam.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments on this?
No, good.
Okay, and roll call, Chris?
Lynch?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
Euring?
Yes.
And that number-
9324.
9324?
Fire prevention's not here. Roads, parks, and cemeteries, Superintendent Smarsh.
Okay, for starters, for the cemetery, the fence was fixed. Russell and I fixed it last week. It was the fence that was damaged by the tree that came down in that storm back in August. And for the park, the playground, we had a couple of parts that we needed to replace on the playground equipment. That's been taken care of, and we tilled up the mulch again. That's still in really good shape. So we're definitely good there. I'm guessing to say, into for next year as well. For the roads, we are on a turn of roadside mowing right now, and also the OPWC Middle Ridge Road project is and has been completed. There was I got 5 calls. I would say it was from residents that live on Middle Ridge that complimented the job that was done.
Wow.
Yeah, so I relayed that message over to Bill at Crossroads, and they did. They did a nice job. Yeah, lickety split, and real nice jobs. Nice, tight, good top to it. Good paint job, as a matter of fact, as well. So, other than that, we had a little bit of maintenance issue on one of the dump trucks we sprung a leak on an air tank up in the hidden spots, you know. They had replacement part at International, so we got that dropped down and put back in there and plumbed all in, so we're in real good shape there.
It's just a whole new tank then?
Yes, sir. There was an issue, hopefully y'all got an email on the problem with our generator right now. Okay, we come across that, and on Thursday, there's supposed to be a mechanic representative that are going to come out and take a look and investigate on what the problem is. Hopefully get it taken care of quickly.
Yeah.
But everything else is running real smooth.
Kevin, any questions for Kevin?
No, I have no question.
Okay, well, what we do have, and we're gonna handle it under the parks, is, as we're aware with the different athletic groups here, it's usually volunteers, parent-run organizations, and with the Amherst Youth Soccer Association, there's a whole new group there, and Linda mentioned how the current lease agreement is sunset and wanted to get a new agreement in place. So you have in front of you, it's basically the same agreement that we've had in the past. It's just changing the term to a new 3-year term beginning October 1st of 2024 and running through September 30th of 2027. Then obviously there are clauses in there for renewing this. But it's just something that we have to get taken care of and have it clean. So I'm going to make a motion that the Amherst Township Middle Ridge Road Park and Overland Road Soccer Field lease agreement with the Amherst Youth Soccer Association shall be renewed, and that's all per the attachments and the prepared documentation to get it on the floor.
I'll second that.
Okay, are there any questions? And similar to the agreement for the building inspector, this gives Linda a little bit of flexibility. It's actually written into the agreement that before this agreement is finalized, is they have to provide proof that Amherst Township is an additional insured at a minimum of $1 million per occurrence. And Linda just dropped off, didn't expect this until a week or two, but she has the document here, so you don't have copies, but they do have their certificate of liability insurance showing Amherst Township as an additional insured. So I didn't print a clean copy of this agreement, Linda, but we just pull one off. There should be the extra agenda there, and we can have the trustees sign it tonight, and you can get the Amherst Youth Soccer Association leadership to sign off.
Okay, yep. And they're bringing a check to the end of the week.
Okay, good.
$3 for the 3 years.
Is there any questions on this?
Lynch?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
Yuri?
Yes.
9-4?
Yes, it is.
6?
Yes, it is. 9-4.
9-4, okay. Okay, Senior Services Township Administrator Linda Ashley.
Not really a whole lot to report. Medicare open enrollment's coming up October 15th through December 7th. So again, we offer the service of any Medicare recipient who has Part D wants to come in and compare their plans. It's highly encouraged that they do because the plans change every year, especially with this new Inflation Reduction Act change to our Medicare. They have caps, and so some of the medications are changing in cost. So I highly recommend that if you're on Medicare and you have a prescription plan coverage Part D, that you contact somebody, whether it's a insurance broker, myself, whomever, but just have it looked at. Other than that, we're just kind of I've been working on contracts and the zoning compliance letters, sending those out and getting all that in order. I did have a gentleman come in. He lives on Rice Road, and there's a single lane driveway that goes between Middle Ridge and Rice, and it's been there for years, and it's for the property owners, and it's actually on a property owner's property, private property. I've been going back and forth with the auditor's office, and they informed me today that that has been a road since 1874. It was never discontinued as a road. That's why it's listed on the site as being a road. They've put the name Rice Road on it, even though Rice Road goes up east and west. This is a north-south. He said it appears that it'd be like a county road with just a number. But he's looking into it because they got to figure out if this is a road or not.
And is it a full road on just one property, or is it split half to one parcel and half to the other?
It's all on one property. So, and it's gravel, and it's just a one-lane road. The gentleman came in because...
I know the road. I've driven through it.
Yeah, and their buses are using it, Waze, Google Maps, and MapQuest are all listing it as a road because it's on the auditor's site as a full road. So we're trying to get that sorted out. So that takes some time, but other than that, we've had a lot of pavilion reservations too. It seems like all of a sudden everybody's calling. So every Saturday in September is used.
Every Saturday is what?
In September, we have reservations. And toward the end of August, the same
Well,
thing.
you would think it'd be slowing down now.
Kevin asked me what I was doing.
Yeah, he's got a lot of barrels empty, right?
Yeah, but other than that, just, handling the day-to-day stuff.
Well, you didn't report, you just found out too, I think since our last meeting, that we were not successful in getting the cemetery.
Just remembered that, yes. The cemetery grant we were not awarded. So hopefully next year we can put in for it. From the letter, I'm making the assumption that probably our tree trimming was not extraordinary maintenance enough to qualify. So,
Other than the fact that they fell and damaged the fence, which now we gotta, they just repaired the fence because
I know that.
maybe you probably didn't take pictures of that.
Yes, I did.
Oh, good. Well, maybe you can redo it and say, by the way, this is
Yeah.
what happens when trees aren't taken down.
Yeah, so we'll try again next year. See what we can do.
Questions for Linda?
No, I have none.
And I know you sent to Georgianne information on the Medicare because she's already including it in the Part D. And,
Yeah, there's some other changes that are being made to Medicare
Well,
as
there's-
far as the Part D for the credible insurance. So if you are 65 and still working and are covered under an employer's insurance, you need to check if it's credible insurance.
Yeah.
If not, you need to get on a Part D.
I've got several siblings I got a call on that are still working that are Medicare eligible, and yeah, they're gonna have to check with their
Yeah.
employer's insurance to make sure that their total max out of pocket doesn't exceed 2,000.
It's really going to affect like the high deductible insurance
Right.
plans
Yeah, because
because they're over 2,000.
the government sets what the minimum is.
I know, and
Seems like
it's
a
going to
conflict.
create, it has the potential to create a lot of issues for families, where we have spouses, and one's younger than the other, and the other one's 65, and they have to drop their insurance with the employer and go on Medicare, that leaves the spouse without insurance.
Well, and if they don't, they pay a penalty for life.
It's 1% per month forever.
Would you like a 12% annual return?
Yeah, it could be pretty steep, and they do it on the national average. They don't do it on what the Part D plans cost in our area. They take it on a national average, which includes California and the higher priced premiums, and I think it's about $35 a month now. So you add 12% to $35 every month for life.
Yeah, the biggest
You're done. You die.
positives for retirees I saw in that is the eliminating the donut hole.
Mhm.
For those that are diabetic, capping the cost of insulin. So that's fine, that worked, but all the other inflation reduction I don't see.
Well, and the $2,000 cap is good,
Yeah,
but forcing people to go on it that are still working, that's not a good move for the middle class
Right.
working.
yeah, and if you're still working above 65, either love your job or it's because you have to.
Yep.
Any other questions for Linda?
No.
Let's see, I don't have, other than the new complaint, Kevin already took care of this one. Linda mentioned the one on Rice Road. So I don't have any other business here. Okay, Chris?
You probably want to think about Halloween.
Yes, well, that's going to come up in new business, you're right. And Georgianne, I know you had asked about this. You want to mention which Sunday that is based on past practice for Halloween?
The 27th is the last Sunday of the month in October, and that is typically when people
Yeah.
trick or treat, right? So it's from 1
Right.
to 3.
Is that the item you have, Linda?
Yeah, and it'll be in the newsletter, but just needed everyone to agree we're going to stay on the same course that the township's been on for, at least 20-some odd years, 24,
And yet
25.
they still ask every year, and I saw them starting to pop up there that they were like, when
Wow.
is trick or treat? When is trick or treat?
Lots of new people, too.
I will mention that Studio Q Photography, who runs the Halloween costume contest, and it's now called a Spooktacular Sprint or something, not a Halloween walk. They have changed the time this year, and their activities will start at 2 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock. So it's right in the middle of our trick or treat, but that was their decision to change, so just thought I'd mention that.
Maybe it'll keep the numbers down.
All right, thank you. Is there any other business then?
No.
I have nothing.
Okay, our next regular meeting will be at 7 o'clock, Tuesday, September 24th. Kevin, any need for a work session?
No, sir.
Anyone else here? Any need for an executive session?
No.
Okay, then can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Yuri?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
Lynch?
Yes.